Hello and welcome. We're going to be discussing today how to build PLC parameters in AutoCAD Electrical. Uh, what we're going to be covering today is how this is made and how you can customize it to build something that is what you need and how you can make this with different style ports. So the first thing to know is this first block right here is a header, or that's just what we're calling it anyway, a header. And then everything else past that is just a standard port, a terminal, whatever you want to call it. But all the rest of these are the exact same block. So in my case, today we're going to build a fiber port module for a communication layout. So this is my header and this is my port. And the only difference between the two is this information right here. This is just some good information to have. This style stuff right here kind of describes what the module is, where it might be found, right slot, voltage regulations, stuff of that sort. So we have the things that we need. Now let's discuss what these are and why they're here. So every port you want to have a description so that you can label it, and then a terminal number, a tag number, and a terminal description for the wire that's coming into right here. Another thing to know is that you do not have to build this in Symbol Builder. This is just a basic drawing that I've done up, and then these are all attributes. Now the important thing to know is that every single one of these attributes, be it A, B, C, D, or continue, need to have this underscore after it, so that when the PLC parameter builds all these, it can number them and it won't. Because if you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, then when it creates the next set with this one that's replicated every time, then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 more times after this. And so it will duplicate and run into issues, and your module won't work like it should. Just the same for every one of these. You'll want them to have that so that it can say this is terminal 1, so this is description 1, terminal description 1, tag 1, term 1, so on and so on. So the first thing that we have to do is understand how these are made. So let's go to PLC Module File Editor, Database File Editor, and we can see all the different PLCs that are given to us by our manufacturer when we download AutoCAD Electrical. So let's just look at this one right here. You can see how it's made, the different style terminals that it have, and these are all unique descriptions is what these are. So you can select whatever you need this to be. And where this information comes from is in the settings. When you go to settings, these are your blocks, your category, your unique description. This is what you'll be seeing, and then a bitmap file. So whenever I wouldn't suggest calling your block name or calling your unique description whatever your block name is, because it may not, you may just name your blocks like this, and you may want it to be something relatable or legible of some sorts. So you can see some of the ones that I've done recently. Like my block is called double term, but I kind of make it a little more simplified. I don't put all this extra location lingo in there. I just make it to where I can understand it. All right. And then the bitmap is just a picture of whatever style terminal you've created, like this back here that we had. But you'll need one, so I'm going to show you how to create that today. All right, so let's get started. So this is my header. Let's do bitmap out. We're going to go ahead and make our bitmap. So BMP out. This will create your bitmap. And then you need to go wherever all the rest of your bitmap files are saved in your computer. AutoCAD has somewhere that it saves all these. It'll probably be with wherever your software is saved or in your local drive somewhere. You just need to go save it with all the rest of them. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that for both of them. Okay, now both of them are saved and we're ready to move on. So the next step that we can go to is go back into PLC Model File Editor. All right, we can just leave this kind of minimized for now. We're going to go ahead and go into Settings and then go all the way to the very bottom and then hit the down arrow, and that's going to give us a blank line. So this is the block file name. We're going to want to browse that out and go to wherever your blocks are saved. So here's my header. We're just going to call it a terminal. And then I'm going to call this fiber header. And then this is your bitmap. So you're going to need to browse to wherever you found that your bitmaps were saved. You need to go there and add this in. So there's my header for my bitmap. You can see it kind of gives you a picture. All right. So that one's created. We're going to do the same thing again. Down arrow. This is the block. We're going to browse and go to wherever our block is saved at. It's our fiber port. We're just going to call it a terminal again. And then I'm going to call this one a fiber port. And then my bitmap, you just need to navigate to wherever it is as well. Okay. And as you can see, that picture. Okay. So you've added in your new terminals that you're wanting to use. So now we need to either add a manufacturer or add to a manufacturer. For this instance, I'm just going to add it to Stratix. This is an Ethernet port that I have. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one, and we're going to say it's fiber. I don't know what their line is for fiber, but I'm just going to create something simple for now. And then my new type, I'm going to say this one's going to be an 8 port. And then we're going to make a new module. So the manufacturer is just going to be whatever the manufacturer. Series will be the second one. Series type will be this last one. And then the code, you have to have a code for this to actually become a module. So this is going to be its unique identifier. So I'm going to say fiber 8 port. Description, fiber module. Module type, I'm going to say it's a fiber. I'm going to say it's a 6 amp rating. Terminals, You'll need to kind of know how big of a how many ports that you need, or how many terminals, or whatever kind of module you're building, so that you know how many this needs to be. Just so happens I need 8, but you can change this to any one number that you need it to be. If you want it to be a specific address or something of that, this is more PLC stuff, but a specific address or wire number or something of that name for that port, you could kind of give it direction here. Okay, so it created our module for us. You see that we have the 8 terminals that we told that we was going to need. So we're going to say the first one is going to be our fiber header. This next one is going to be a fiber port. And then you're just going to do that all the way down, however, whatever kind of setup it may be. Just so happens this one is the same one all the way down. You may have a module that has different types of ports going down that you want to do differently, but this one I'm just making a fiber port all the way down. Okay, so we can go ahead and save our module, and that's going to save it into our database. I'm going to say done. Then we can go back into our drawing, and we're just going to put it right here beside and go to our PLCs, and you see that it sees it there. So we can add in our new module. It's right here. Say okay. We want to edit it, put it here. Sure. I don't really have any beginning addresses that I want to use, but you can pick something if you want to. And then it creates the whole thing for us, and it's ready to go. Now you do see that it has these extra lines in here, and you can go back and clean all that up. And that's just these extra text that are in the installation and line description. But because we did the descriptions the way we did over here on the side, you can still edit your descriptions correctly. And then you can change any of this information that you may need as well. And then if you need your pins or ports to be something different, you can edit all that stuff where you need it to be. It's not going to be a big deal. You can get to it fairly easy. Worst case, you can double click, go into the properties, and get rid of these text and the tag name if you have to. But those are fairly easy cleanup. So that's how you create your own module. And you can see that all that hidden information that was in there is no longer there. And then anytime we need to use a wire, it's got its snap point and it's in the correct spot for every single one of them. You see the snap points. So yes, that's how you do it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message or I'll help with what I can. Thanks. Have a good day.